If you like listening to podcasts and two men chatting shit, then look no further. It's the Real Talking Pod.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be singing. Yeah.
Right, so let's start off today's episode with just a bit of news. Twitter have been fucking idiots. They've suspended the account for no reason. It's been suspended for a couple of weeks. I've been back and forth, sending emails and that. It's not working. So essentially we've made a new Twitter now. Ash?
Yeah, so the new Twitter handle is @AshandJD. That's it. But don't forget, we still got mail. So, still got mail. realtalkingpod@gmail.com, and then YouTube, as usual, is the Real Talking Pod for the socials. So any emails, any questions, literally just anything, just email or Twitter, DM us, slide in those DMs.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. It'll be up on the screen and that anyway. All the links will be there. Right then, so going off of that little bit of an intro, I thought this week we'd talk about greatest movie soundtracks.
Okay.
Now, with all the years, all the movies, there's some bangers out there.
Yeah, some better than others.
Yeah. Now, there is individual films that have just got one good song. But I'm talking about a whole fucking album that we can just stick on, listen to, and enjoy.
There's no skips.
Yeah. So, I've compiled a little personal list. You've got a personal list.
Yeah, I've got my top three. So I think we have your top three.
What do you want to do? One each?
Yeah, alright, so I'll do my number three.
Yeah.
And then you do your number three, and we'll see if they line up.
Yeah.
So my number three is from the movie Southpaw. Now this I forgot how this was such a good movie, but the soundtrack's even better. Obviously, it had Wise Men by Frank Ocean, which is one of the best songs ever. Eminem, Phenomenon. It just had everything. For the movie, it just flowed all the way through, and the soundtrack I think the soundtrack might have even been better than the movie. But it was such a good movie, and also Jake Gyllenhaal just seems to get in some incredible shape for this film.
But he's done it with that new one.
Yeah, the MMA Ultima Fighter, I think it's called, or something like that. It's gonna be called.
Yeah, I've just seen
like
that little clip when he's in the octagon fighting.
Just get shredded, mate.
Yeah, he's in such a good
He's
chat.
got good genes.
I mean, he's a good actor in general.
Yeah, I do like RJ.
Yeah, he is a good actor. I've only seen that film once, to be fair, and it was a good few years ago. So I can't think of all the actual songs for it, but I know it was a good. I definitely enjoyed it.
You know it's good when you come out of a movie, out of the cinema, and you put the playlist on the car, on the drive. And I remember doing this film.
Yeah,
really good. So what's your number three?
Well, number three for me, it's Rocket Man. So
okay.
Yeah, because Elton John in general, obviously, old classic, and it's just all the bangers are in it. You know, I mean, there was a couple of songs as I'd watched the film I didn't know, because he's just got a vast library of all music. But obviously, you know, Rocket Man, Rock and Roll, Tony Dancer. I mean, it's just the song list in general for Elton John is just endless.
That was a good movie. I was shocked how much I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I've not watched the other ones with something Malik, isn't it? The Queen.
That one's really good as well. Yeah.
I've still not watched it yet.
Well, who's the lad that plays Alan John? Something Edgerton, isn't it?
Yeah, because
he's really good. He plays him really well in it.
Yeah, he's a good actor, isn't he? The Kingsman, Eddie the Eagle as well.
Yeah, what is his name now? I'm gonna feel like we're gonna have to, because we've got to do him justice by getting his name up.
Yeah, I'll get it.
But like, he's a really good actor, and the movie, I was surprised how good that movie was and how much I enjoyed that.
Yeah, Taron Egerton.
Yeah. What a name as well.
I know.
Is that his real name or stage name?
To be honest, because I can't say I know a Taron or an Egerton, so let's just see.
What a name. And he's rumoured to be playing the new Wolverine.
Yeah, there's been a lot of...
he's been getting into like good shape as well.
But he's done it for a few films really when he's been in a decent enough shape. Because I know he's the lead in that new Tetris film that's coming out as well.
No, that's already out.
Oh, is it out?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what?
I've got to watch that then.
He's a good actor. That's a decent film.
Yeah.
But he makes the film.
Yeah,
he
definitely does. Because he does all the singing himself as well. It's not records of Elton's songs and that. It's really did enjoy it. The wife's not into those kinds of films and that, so I only watched it once with her. She just pulled her face like, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, but I've watched it a few times and I really do enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. So on to number 2.
Right, my number 2 is Deadpool. Number 2. Now this bangers. Also, it had its own original song, Ashes, Celine Dion.
Yeah.
Big tune. Then we've got tunes like All Out of Love. X gonna give it. It just went Dolly Parton. He goes all over the shop, but it's just great. What's that song? Shoeboat. It's got like the video for that's a crazy video. I'm sure they'll find it there at one point. And it's got there's loads of bangers in there. It's got Skrillex in there.
Yeah.
But that soundtrack again, it's all over the place in terms of.
It's just different genres of music, isn't it?
It just goes with how the movie went and
yeah,
and obviously Deadpool in great shape too, Ryan Reynolds. So
I know, yeah.
There's a theme going on here.
Yeah, and again he's doing well with Wrexham at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, just got promoted.
Yeah, trying to entice Gareth Bale out of promotion as well, weren't they?
I can't see it.
He's turned it down. Yeah. So my number 2.
Yeah.
No, it's cheating a little bit because it's more than one film. This is. It's the Rocky franchise. More so number 1 to 5, because all the songs on there, especially the training montages.
Yeah.
That's the gym hype, or used to be the gym hype anyway. I used to stick them on all the time, bloody doing me running and everything, and just in general, they're just good songs. I know it's a different era because it was like 80s, possibly 70s. No, I think it came out in the 80s. So it was just a lot of just emotional rock anthems.
The song that sticks to my head out of that one is not the one you'd think is. It's the one where Apollo dies and he's driving back in his car and he's reminiscing and it's got it's a proper power ballad, but again, the life of me, I just can't remember what that's called now.
Was that? I think that was Hearts on Fire. Hearts on Fire.
Yeah, that might be the one. Desire. Big tune.
And then when Apollo first comes out, I think it was the first one. Living in America.
No, so I have a feeling though mine, and also in great shape as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, have you seen the songs? Still absolutely ridiculous. I think before we do our number 1s, we should give some honourable mentions first, because when I was thinking about all these the other day, it was just on, and I literally did just spend ages looking at different films, trying to jog my memory of movies from the past. So you've already mentioned Eminem, 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Again, it's mainly all his songs, but that was just banger after banger in there. Ghostbusters, that was a one-hit wonder really, but it did have a good few songs in it. Obviously, mainly it was just the Ghostbusting song. Lost Boys as well.
I've never watched it, mate.
Alright, vampire film, but that again, it was mainly just one song that always comes to mind. School of Rock, Jack Black.
Yeah, that was a
he
good
just
one.
bangs
They're doing an anniversary soon of that. Because it's been, I want to say it's been 20 years, so there's doing like a little anniversary concert for it, or segment on some show. I've definitely seen.
I've seen a couple of reunions with them in general, but I've not seen about that. Yeah. American Pie. Yeah, all the songs. I mean, that's teenage memories coming back.
Also, have you watched the new Mario?
Not yet, no.
That's got a good soundtrack. It's got a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I've only seen the video of the original song Peaches, and that's in the official charts. I don't know where it's landed, but fair play to him. I just always think he's so underrated, Jack Black, as a singer, because he does all these great movies. Probably not so much Goosebumps, but he's been in a lot. But yeah, his band Tenacious D and his vocals, his covers, and this and that. He's just, I feel he's underrated. Yeah. Again, I can keep going on and on. Space Jam. We won't mention about R. Kelly's history, but that had loads of tunes in it. Dirty Dancing. I mean, again, that's one for the women more so, really, but it had some tunes in it. Wayne's World for the rock fans. With the,
Wayne's World.
The famous car scene. Fucking banging out Freddie Mercury.
Wayne's World, party time.
Yeah. Fucking.
So if you look back on Wayne's World, theirs was like, I know there was a little TV show, but it was kind of like a new, like it was just a little segment, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wayne's World. And
it started off on it was a comedy sketch show.
Yeah.
I can't figure the name of the show now. There'll be people saying it's fucking this, you idiot. But it was just one of those little sketches. So it was Mark Myers and the other chap, which I always forget his name.
Garfield? No, that's his name.
Yeah, it was Garfield. Yeah. And so it was literally just a little sketch, and then they got the budget to make the movie.
That's a great film, actually.
Yeah.
I love the bit where he's fighting the Asian man, and he talks Asian, but he's his lips.
proper lip syncing, and it's just
fucking great, that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Another one, Back to the Future as well. Johnny Be Good, when he whips out at the end of the film, gets on a guitar. And he ends up going off the rails and smashing the guitar. But again, that's got a good couple of songs, but mainly just Johnny Be Good is always the standout on that. And Top Gun as well.
Yeah, Top Gun,
Yeah, that half naked scene of them volleyballing.
With jeans on.
Yeah.
Nothing says volleyball, then tops off, or with jeans, restricting everything.
With the aviator sunglasses
just
and that as
sweating
well.
right in the crotch area. Yeah, that's what you want to be doing.
Great film.
Did they have shoes or trainers on, or was the barefoot? Because I think it'd make it worse if you had barefoot, jeans, and topless. Because the scene's homoerotic anyway, and when you look back at it.
Well, there is that little comedy sketch of Quentin Tarantino saying how it is a gay film because it's naked men essentially, and it's
because there's one point I remember when they're swelling, there's just a chest of someone swelling, just like so it is homoerotic,
yeah,
but still in shape.
Yeah, running theme to that. I think that's it on my honourable mentions. There was loads and loads, but I didn't want to write them down too much because we'd be going on for hours and hours.
Well, I think it is just the ones where they really stick to your head. Is when you've come out the cinema.
Yeah.
You want to put the movie list on. The soundtrack list on.
Yeah.
And just go through.
I know.
Because also, I really like the soundtrack. One of my mentions to Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
That had a really good soundtrack.
Well, number one did as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of programs, especially the Marvel programs on Netflix and all that. They really delve into the soundtracks of these programs. So music just helps tell the stories now, doesn't it? And then I think before we reveal the number ones as well, because obviously these are personal choices. On the website, you've got some stats for it.
Oh yeah. So the top 5
official, unofficial.
Yeah, so it varies from website to website, but from vulture.com. Now, I haven't watched any of these, and I reckon you might have watched one or two. So again, this is off vulture.com. Number 5, Oh Brother, Where Aren't They? Command 2000.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 4 is Purple Rain.
Big tunes.
1984.
Yeah, Prince.
3, Shaft, 1971.
Yeah.
Number 2, Superfly, which came out in 1972. And then number 1, American Graffiti, which came out in 1973. But again, I've never watched any of these, and it varies from website to website. I think just whoever's really putting the list together there.
Yeah,
taste,
it's all subjective, isn't it? You know, but a lot of these journalists that just go on a generic popularity. But one that did just pop in my head, which is all original music, the South Park movie, Bigger, Louder, Better. The songs in that were just ridiculous. I mean, their creators are just funny in general, anyway, aren't they? Again, with Team America and all that as well. But yeah, the Canadians singing in that is fucking hilarious. Right, so number one on the list. Right. I've got a feeling it's the same one, and I'll be shocked if it isn't.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is my number one. Number 2 was good. Number 2 had some really good songs, but this one just flowed a lot better in the movie. I mean, again, number 2 soundtrack was really, really good, but I felt like number 1 just changed the whole music in terms of how the movie and the music, for me, just the music made the movie, but the movie was good as well, if that makes sense what I'm saying. It just, the whole flow of the soundtrack just made the movie even better.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, it definitely did. It's the same one, number 1.
It made me go back and listen to songs from the 70s again, 80s again, and just songs that you wouldn't really, you wouldn't give the time to.
A lot of them, well, I wouldn't say we forget about them because it was, 20 odd years before he was born. But songs that you think, bloody hell, this is a good song.
Hooked and I Feel It.
Yeah.
And then you got Escape, the Pina Colada song. Pina Colada.
Yeah. Call back to the intro of the pod. It just was. I mean, I couldn't even be able to count how many times I've just stuck this playlist on while I'm working away or driving and that. And it just goes on and on, doesn't it? It's absolutely brilliant.
I think it just... Also, we picked up on nostalgia last week, but he goes back to nostalgia feels because he has the tape recorder to play. Then obviously it's got songs from the 90s. I want to say 90s. Maybe not the 90s, sorry, but it's got the 80s and definitely the 70s. It's got obviously Rupert Holmes, David Bowie in there, Jackson 5, Redbone, Marvin Gaye. So, big songs, big artist. But yeah, that soundtrack, I think, definitely for the Marvel franchise, because it's made their movies more. The soundtrack's better because before that, I can't remember a Marvel soundtrack that was any good.
Well, there wasn't as musically orientated
but
before that
now, I really feel like, especially with the Marvel films,
I mean,
the soundtracks are key. How push it.
Well, I think it was one of the better things about Thor: Love and Thunder because it was a lot of similar songs. Again, another one in good shape. Lovely naked scene there. But yeah, it definitely did. It helped shape a lot of the Marvel films after that. And just listening through the whole of the soundtrack as well, you envision the film while you just switched off listening to it, and you can almost play it back scene for scene. I mean, it was a good film in general. Not just the soundtrack. I think that helped the colour schemes and the narrative of the rest of the Marvel films afterwards. Anyway, it was
number 2 was good though. The soundtrack because you had Johnny Americans. Come on, little. That one I won't sing them, but and then obviously he went for the emotional side. Obviously at the end, and he had Simon Garfunkel. Was it Simon Garfunkel the end song? I'm sure he was. No, it wasn't Simon Garfunkel. It was Cat Stevens. It's definitely Cat Stevens, yeah. And the ending, not the ending, but you know what I mean, when it's doing all the funeral scene.
Yeah.
Also, number 3 is coming out soon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where
I'll be thinking that it's going to be better or worse.
Well, I've not looked at too many trailers or teasers or anything for it because I love to get a bit surprised with these films. But I remember
it looks like it's going to be an emotional one. Cat Stevens, father and son. Sorry, great tune.
Yeah. But I remember remember the opening scenes with it, and then when they start playing Mr. Blue Sky, so Birmingham City's song of choice on the speakers when it comes to their games, and I was almost in tears straight away with that because with Grandad, he was die-hard blues fan and that, and so it always just instantly reminded me, and yeah, but it was, yeah.
It's a great song anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
And, come a little bit closer, Fox on the Run. Oh, God.
Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know. I think maybe. no.
But that's.
Yeah.
So, again, like what I said with The Rocky, because it's in general across the films, you know, it's hard to just choose out individual ones. So it's cheating technically, but as a part of the franchise, the whole individual films, it's. Yeah. I think it'd be hard in general to beat those. I did struggle because I spent a while having a look through and I couldn't find any films that I felt were better than the Guardians of the Galaxy. It really did just stand out, number one. I mean, I've not watched, as I say, I've not watched the Freddie Mercury film. There's the Lady Gaga one as well with Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
I've not seen that, but I know that's meant to be
that's
a good film. There's a lot. Again, it's just down to the personal preference, really, isn't it? Yeah. But I think we've knocked it out of the park with the number one choice.
I think anywhere else than where Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I
Because
think I'm going to end up having the Guardians of the Galaxy watch along later now.
There's no one that watched that film. Also, as well, I went into that film thinking, with Marvel films, the films that you don't think are going to be, you know, great, are better than the ones like 4-3. Like I thought when I went into that, I was like, oh, that ain't going to be that good, but it was the best one.
I enjoyed it.
But yet, no one left the cinema and didn't put that soundtrack on. No one.
If they did,
or not singing one of the songs. No, that.
Well, I know straight away I was singing Pina Colada as I walked out because you just can't get it out of your head. Once it's on, it's just endless.
And also, when you listen to the lyrics of that song, because when you listen to the lyrics, it puts.
But because it's something that we never picked up on before watching the film. You'd hear it on the radio or something. You're like, oh yeah, this is the Pina Colada song. But once you start listening to it, it's the pair of them trying to have an affair, leave each other, and then end up somehow finding each other. And the fact that they just laugh it off and just carry on, oh, what are you like? And fucking they end up staying together. What a load of bullshit. God. But still, great song.
Yeah.
Right, and everyone, just a reminder, you've got to send us in your emails, your questions, anything that you want to talk about. If you've got any topics you want us to go over, just any little questions, if you want to know something stupid about us, any fun facts or whatever, just send them in.
Yeah, so email us at therealtalkingpod@gmail.com, slide into the DMs at now the Twitter handle at AshandJD, and then YouTube Real Talking Pod.
Thanks. Right then. So moving on from that, you know me, I'm always driving around, listening to the greatest anthems and everything.
Yeah.
So yesterday morning, driving along, I had over an hour and a half worth of a drive, and the van, it's almost at 250,000 miles. So every now and again I'm counting down, like, oh yeah, I'm 1,500 away and this and that. So I'm plodding on, I've looked down, and as I've looked back up, I thought, hang on, that's not changed. So it's on 248,601 miles. Now I had this van, I believe it was on 118,000 miles, so I've done a fair few in it. And I thought, I don't think that's moved for a little while, so I've looked at the sat nav, I'm seeing that going down, and I've gone through the settings to check the trip mileage, watched that go up a whole mile, and then went back to the original display, and it was still on the same. So for some reason, the immobiliser's just playing up, whatever the computer system is, there'll be a mechanic out there, not the fucking motor. But yeah, so something's gone wrong with it, and so now I can't officially see or be able to get a picture of the quarter of mile achievements, which I've never thought I'd get to. but
Yeah.
it's something that I want to do. So I'll speak to the mechanic at some point, and try and get that fixed. But otherwise, it's gonna reach you soon. I've got about 1,200 miles to go, I reckon now, after all the travelling around yesterday.
I wonder though if you get it fixed, would it be able to get it back to the correct miles now? Or is that, or those miles that you've done are just running off?
Yeah, it'd be strange.
They've got to be stored because it's picking up on.
Yeah, it's picking up on the trip journey.
Yeah.
It's just the actual.
The overall.
Yeah, which so I don't understand why that display won't continue counting, but the trip journey will. If it was the old analog style where it was a physical dial that used to click over, then I could understand that potentially breaking or failing, but a digital display to not count up, I don't know. But I mean, I suppose it'd be good insurance-wise, wouldn't it? Oh yeah, I've not travelled this year.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do less than 5 miles a year. But I believe you got a stat on that.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, but you won that 250k target, don't you?
Yeah. It'd be nice.
I was just saying, I've just been checking. I'm sure Mercedes-Benz, once you hit 500k, give you a silver badge to put on your car.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure if you hit 1 million, I'm sure it's a gold plate.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Citroen will do that for me.
No, especially being a French car.
Yeah.
That's what.
A gold plaque would worth more than a fucking van anyway.
Yeah, it's not meant to go that far, a Citroen van.
But obviously, so with all the driving that I do, you see a lot of shit yourself and that anyway. The amount of idiots that are on the road that shouldn't deserve a licence, let alone even attempt to get one. So, I mean, usually it's a stupid lorry that pulls out in front of me and this and that. The amount of times I've seen cars facing the wrong way on the motorway as well. You know, they can't park like that. So I don't know what to do.
I've never seen it on the... As I say, I've seen some cars come the wrong way.
Oh yeah,
but not on the motorway. I definitely.
I don't know if it was the A45 or something, but literally they drove down the slip road towards me the one day. I was like, "What are you doing?"
When you see the car come down, you're like, "Am I in the wrong?" you think, "What have I done?"
It was as I was getting off at the junction anyway, and it was just this old boy driving towards me. Luckily, it was pretty close to the roundabout, so I just stopped in front. I was like, "Mate, no, you've got to turn around, go back. You've got to go around." And he was just confused, didn't know. I was like, "No, you've got to go. You can't come down now." But I'd say not exactly worst, but the most craziest experience I had. The week before we went to Cyprus a few years ago, I went to Great Yarmouth with my dad's and brothers and sisters, and I remember driving there. I had the brother in the van with me because we had all the luggage in the van with us, and the rest of them went in the car. So as I was on the M6 heading along, it was like a Final Destination moment. I just looked over the opposite side of the motorway, and I've seen this. I think it was a black Land Rover or a Range Rover, one of the two anyway, towing a caravan. And it's just, as I've looked, the whole of the caravan just shot up in the air, went across all 3 lanes of that side, because they were in the lane number 1, so it's come across 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And if I didn't look, I wouldn't have seen it quick enough to react. So I've slammed on the brakes, and as the caravans landed over the central reservation as well, I was probably about 5 metres away. If I didn't stop, it would have hit me. And nerves were shot anyway. I had to stop off at services and get a coffee just to try and chill out a bit. But that was the closest call, definitely. And
it shakes you up, doesn't it?
Oh,
when you've had like really close. When you think, "Fuck, man."
Yeah, because it literally, if I didn't stop, it would have gone into us. And God knows, I mean, probably wouldn't have done too much damage to the van. Probably just smashed the windscreen or something. But that caravan was in bits. Because as it's gone up, the car's gone up with it as well. Because then I know that when my dad and everyone else was travelling behind it, then even though the accident was only partially on our side of the motorway, it was completely shut down for a couple of hours. And apparently they all survived. It was parents, and I think it was 2 young daughters, and they were all okay. Just a couple of bruises and that, which surprised me because the carnage was like Jesus. Because I couldn't swerve to the left lane because I was overtaking I think it was like a little blue Citroen Saxo, if I remember rightly. Remember, it was a blue car anyway. So I couldn't swerve into the middle. I just physically had to slam on the brakes, and it was scary, but I got over it, and we survived. But it makes me think about all the dash cam footage and that. I do need to get one, to be fair, because the idiots that I see on the road. I mean, the amount of them that just can't read road signs and roundabouts as well. When it's clearly marked that you've got 3 lanes, and they still have to cut straight across, and sort of, why?
I think we've all seen something so stupid that we wish we had a dash cam just to show people.
Yeah.
This is what happened. Look how stupid this is.
And it's almost a daily basis with people like that. I mean, you've always got your stupid BMW drivers not using the indicators. I think they just don't install them on their steering wheels, that they can't press them on and off. I had one yesterday again. It was I think the X3, the big BMWs. Yeah. He was just driving with his hazard lights on. Weird looking older chap, and he's got his window down, orange high vis on, puffing away, and I was like trying to wave, and he was like, "Mate, your hazards on, hazards," and he just looked at me, like essentially wanted to tell me to fuck off, and then just carried on. Like, all right, and you carry on then, mate. But yeah, I watch these dash cam footages sometimes, and you can always tell the drunk drivers as well, the way that they're swerving, and there was one where he's hit into a pole, a lamppost or something, and the car's mangled, and he's still trying to like hit it in reverse to pull away. And the chap's just there recording him, like, "Mate, you can't move, you can't go anywhere, like, you've got to stay," and he's slurring his words and everything. Another one in American car park, because they have like a big curb that separates their parking spaces, like front to front, and he'd gone up on one of those, and so because it was essentially the car's floating and the wheels are just spinning, and he still thinks that he's driving because he's revving like the engine, like trying to turn the steering wheel. I just don't know how to get away with it, but it always makes me think as well, because you watch these films and American TV programs and that, and the amount of them, it's like they promote drink driving. There's all the parties, they'll go to have a meal and go to a bar. They'll get drunk or have a good amount to drink, and they just get behind the wheel, and it's like it's not a problem to them.
I think when because it's so vast, and you're in those little towns, you know, when you've got a couple of thousand people, and you know, I suppose it'd be hard. Well, I suppose taxis service isn't the best in those communities, so you run the risk, because it's just like probably a 10-mile straight road.
Yeah.
Do you know? So maybe, but I get what you're saying, because it does.
Yeah, it might be a bit more acceptable, but it is strange. I always just find it weird, because you know, you see like it's a college party or something. They're getting like completely hammered with the keggers and all that and beer pong. And they just get behind the wheel, and it's like they're completely sober again now. Like, no, you've just been drinking for 3 or 4 hours. But I think that their drinking culture is completely different to ours anyway. I don't think they can handle the alcohol like we do. Not on the beers, so. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know why they always do. Another thing that cracks me up with the bloody American programs, it's like the average person is always ripped. Like you see where they're like the 19, 20 and they're just jacked. It's not realistic. But why are they all perfect fucking bodies? It's just I know it's acting and it's not real and everything, but it's not a
because like they are getting played. This like 18-year-old he's like 28 in real life.
Yeah,
I know.
It's just it's not realistic enough on that sense. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't expect the likes of Brendan Fraser with that new film that he's in, The Whale.
Yeah.
So he's got a bodysuit on and CGI and all that. I'm not saying that I expect a morbidly obese person to play that role, because that's what they already are. They have to do that. But some of them need to be a bit more realistic. You know, it does extend on a bit too much sometimes, I think.
The one thing, I'm gonna go right just off topic, but sticking on the Americans and like the films or TV series, the one thing I've never understood, please just email me in. If just when someone calls up, they never say bye.
Yeah.
Like, mate, look, how do you know the conversations? He could have said something more. Like,
I know.
Yeah. What? Like, boy means it's over. Like, he could have had something else to say on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, that bit always cracks me up. And like, I've always thought, why did I do that? Or is that just for?
Again, it might be an American thing because I always find it to be too much the opposite way. When I'm on the phone with some people, like Mum, for example, it's always off. All right, yeah, I'll see you later then. All right, yeah, love you too. Okay then, see you later. So,
Yeah.
bye. And it's almost like 2 minutes
Too long.
of saying goodbye.
Yeah.
So all it needs to be is, all right, Sam, I'll see you later. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Bam. But again, I think that's a British culture, though, isn't it? Really. Right. So I think now we go on to our weekly rants.
Mm-hmm.
So. So obviously I do a lot of walking with the dog. He needs, a good few hours a day. But he's a road weirdo. So any bits of tissue and that he sees on the floor, he'll pick up and try and eat. I mean, when I came here last week, I got back home, almost a full kitchen roll was just demolished. So it's my fault because I've left it on the side. I didn't put it up away, which I shouldn't have to do. But yeah, I've got back home, seen it's not on the side, and all there was like 3 little bits of tissue left on the floor. So he's completely eaten all of it. I just don't know what the obsession is, because it must be like gourmet food to him or something. So the amount of times I make walking and he'll find a tissue on the floor, and then I have to do the dog wrestling dance then. So he's a big enough dog anyway, but he's getting him in the headlock, trying to force open his mouth, and then you're trying to get through all the saliva and get the little tissue out of his mouth, and oh god. Because for starters, you don't know what's on the tissue anyway.
And
in general,
you don't want him to swallow anyway.
Yeah.
But he thinks you're playing.
I know, but like someone's at least blown the nose and just chucked it on the floor, and so it's doing all that, and you're feeling grossed out and that anyway, and you chuck it and you tell him off, and he's like, yeah, all right then. But so by mine, because I've got the hospital around the corner, so on my road there's a lot of doctors around the area, doctors and nurses and that anyway. But the amount of them that I see are just dropping their tissues, and I see like they'll blow the nose and they'll chuck it on the floor, and it's this one road in particular, they're always doing it, and it's so frustrating because it's bad enough when it's just a normal person that's got a bit of a cold or something, but the doctors and nurses, they should know better to not be chucking their tissues on the floor, because we don't know whether it's a cold or any kinds of flus, viruses or whatever. And so for me to physically have to wrestle the dog then to get this unknown tissue out of his mouth, it just absolutely cracks me up. And the one of them the other week, I still can't believe it now. Like, I'm walking towards 2 of them, and they're talking to each other, and I know they've already seen me anyway, because with the dog he gets a lot of attention anyway, and not just the Asians, but mainly the Asians, they're scared of dogs anyway, so they'll normally cross the road or hide in a little corner or something. And so they're walking towards me, and I've seen this one just pick a nose and wiped it on a silver Honda Civic, and I was in disbelief. I was like, I haven't seen that right. I can't believe. No,
She just picked a nose and walked on the car.
literally, full on digging for
Like
treasure.
a nurse.
Yeah, and I know it's a nurse because even though they got the coats on, you can see a little bit of the.
Why just flick it?
I don't know, mate. I don't know, because I thought the way she'd physically stopped at the car as well. I thought it was her car. She was about to open the door and put like a bag in the back or something. But no, she's physically wiped it, and I was just in shock. I was like, as I'm going past the car then as well, I've seen the evidence, and it was a big snot ball just wiped on this car, and I just felt like throwing up a little bit, to be honest, because it was just vile. The no shame of it.
And still right in front of you.
Yeah, because we made eye contact. Because even after she'd done it, as I say, they both walked past me still, and we've made eye
So she's
contact.
walking with someone.
Walking with a colleague.
You're in front of her.
Yeah.
picks her nose,
Yeah.
the big greenie on her finger, wipes onto the car she's walking past.
Yeah, it was more yellow than green, to be fair, when I saw it.
Oh.
Might have just been the light transferring through from the car or something, but yeah, I just couldn't believe it. It was absolutely disgusting.
People are just, some people just don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah. Oh God, it is strange. But it's not just the tissues, they keep dropping the masks and that on the floor as well. I mean, I get it, there's still this bit of a pandemic going on, which I'm waiting for lockdown number 3 any day now, because I don't know why they haven't done it yet. They will do, because propaganda, more conspiracy theories. Tune in next week, maybe. But yeah, I don't get that. Like, you're wearing a mask to stop spreading any viruses and whatever crap. And why take it off and throw it on the floor anyway then? Because someone's got to pick it up or clean it up or whatever. You're still spreading it around in that sense. It's just ignorance and laziness.
Yeah, so just throwing anything on the floor, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And you've got bins, especially, I assume hospital will have hundreds of bins.
Yeah,
and walk past every single one and then just throw it on the floor right outside it.
Yeah, well, even because the road in particular, it's got the church there, right by the park and that as well. And a lot of them cut through the park. There's, I don't know, about 6 bins on the one path through the park. There's bins on the corners as they're coming out of the hospital to this road. So why do they have the obsession to be able to just blow or whatever crap it is and just chuck it on the floor? The act is nasty in general, but when I have to get this tissue out of the dog's mouth, it just makes me feel sick, because I'm conscious then. I'm like, I can't touch my face because I don't know what's on my hands now. And then it's trying to force him to drink some water as soon as I get in to try and sweat his mouth out, essentially. Not that he does, because he's a little div. I don't see why they can just think that it's acceptable. But I've worked in doctors' houses in the past, and it's surprising how, I'm not saying all of them, but the few that I've worked in, it's surprising how unclean they are in general. Obviously, these people, they have to be sterilised, clean, so they don't cause infection, carry anything, because they're between operations and seeing patients and stuff. But the houses that I've been in are absolutely atrocious. Kitchens are in states, food left everywhere. I remember the one job in particular, old Victorian style house, Moseley. The second story, which was essentially loft conversion, they had the au pair living with them. So she was in college or uni. I don't know what country she came from, to be honest. But living there, looking after the kids, and she was in that top room, and they asked us to have a look and paint the au pair's bedroom. As we've gone up to look, it was black mould on the wall, right next to her bed. This stuff is deadly. They know it's deadly. They should know what it looks like for starters as well. And they were allowing the au pair to sleep next to it. And it was just absolutely disgraceful. I mean, not just the doctors as well. I've worked in a few footballers' houses, and there's one in particular, Matthew Loughton, when he was playing for Villa at the time. Absolutely disgusting. We went into the house because we did some work, did his kitchen and everything, and there was dirty nappies on the floor, dirty clothes left everywhere.
But because he just had a kid though, or was he just dirty?
It's laziness, mate. Leaving. So he went away while we done the work, but leaving that kind of thing just because you've got the money to afford for cleaners to come in, it doesn't excuse it. It's absolutely disgusting. And then when he turned up afterwards, the end of the job, I wasn't hanging around for an autograph anyway because I'm not a Villa fan. But he didn't even want to look at us or his wife. Just ignorance. Didn't want to say hello or anything. They just went in, had a quick chat with the builder, and then we went. No thanks or anything. Just absolutely disgusting. I don't know if he still plays for Burnley now, but he was the last time I seen him. I did have a dump in his house as well. We'll save that for another podcast. The celebrities' houses that I've pooped in. So that went off on a bit of a tangent with footballers there, but that's the rant over. No mention of Sam Smith this time.
No.
So I think going from that now, then I think we should call it a pod.
Yeah. That's a pod.
Right, so don't forget, send in your questions, slide in the new DMs, email us, realtalkingpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Twitter is Ash and JD. Anything you want, absolutely anything, questions, ideas, or just say hello.
Yeah.
All right, see you later then.